I'm Roy Firestone, and in my wildly blessed life, I've had the great fortune and privilege of knowing and spending time with some of the most accomplished people on the planet, and not just sports people. When I first met Muhammad Ali at the age of 20 in Miami, little did I know that I would also get to know someone who was with him in every corner, quite literally. He was, to me, perhaps the most fascinating person I ever met in my life. Not Ali, by the way, although he too was very fascinating to be around. No, it was Ali's conscience and muse I'm referring to. That is Ferdie Pacheco, Ali's fight doctor. He was in his corner for most of Ali's career, and in his corner in the most important decisions in Ali's life. And when he saw what boxing was doing to Ali's health, he threatened the champ that he would leave if he, Ali, didn't quit the sport and never come back. Well, Ali didn't quit, but Dr. Pacheco did quit, and he never came back. We lost Doc at the age of 89. You might remember him, of course, as the boxing analyst on television. But you may not know of his deep, committed reach in the areas of art, literature, script writing, and a vast and astonishing sense of history and music and politics, and of course, medicine. First, you should know of Doc's compassion and sense of responsibility to the indigent, the poverty-stricken citizens of South Florida. Pacheco offered his services for mostly no charge, because he believed that the role of a doctor is to come to humanity's aid regardless of a citizen's social or financial status. Ali knew about this, and that's why he asked Doc to be at his side, because Ali, like Doc, was also a man of the people regardless of their place in the world. There are people alive today, folks, who became Ferdie Pacheco's patients, and they are alive because he gave them services when they didn't have a dime. For part of 4 decades, Doc remained loyal to Ali after the champ was ripped off and discarded by some in his circle when the champ was no longer a cash cow. But Doc never took a dime from Ali. To say he was a Renaissance man would be trite, but it was exactly what he was. His paintings, which sold for tens of thousands of dollars, hang in some of the most acclaimed and influential people's homes, and some belong in museums. But there was so much more. Doc wanted to be a novelist, a playwright, social observer. He did all of those things. He wrote numerous books. He wrote both fiction and nonfiction. He was a collector of rare military artifacts. He collected numerous military swords and helmets and weapons and other memorabilia. He was an authority on military history, and I loved my conversations with him. He was a wordsmith of the highest order and a true intellect on almost any subject. Doc's love of his life then and now remains Luisita Pacheco, his wife. And I just want to say this to Luisita. You kept this man alive and happy and vibrant and invested in the loves of his earth. And you were there for him before and after the illness and the stroke, and he loved you more than any human being could possibly love another person. I loved Doc too. We all did. And I had the honor to tell him that just a couple of years ago when I visited him at his home in Miami, and Luisita was there at his side. She always was. I said goodbye, and I knew I'd never see Doc again because he wasn't failing health, and yet he was still sharp and aware and deeply passionate about his art and his writing and his loves. He was smarter, wiser, and more driven than almost anybody I've ever met. But in the end, he was a dazzling human spirit to reckon with. Now, I don't believe in heaven. That's a concept anyway. I'd love to envision, though, a scenario where Ali and Doc and Angelo Dundee and the rest of the Ali circus are having a conversation in the afterlife. I believe Doc would probably outtalk the champ too. Boy, I wish I could be a fly on that wall. Well, I knew this day was coming because I knew Doc was struggling to live with his stroke. But he lived so many lives. He did so many great and good things that all I can say was that it was a life well lived. One of Doc's inspirations was Van Gogh, who once said this: "It is good to love many things, for therein lies the true strength, and whosoever loves much performs much, and can accomplish much, and what is done in love is always well done." Ferdie Pacheco loved many things in life, and it was done in love, and it was well done. Good night, Doc.